Speaker Mike Johnson was pressed yesterday once again on why he hasn't sworn in Democratic Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, who won her special election more than 2 weeks ago in Arizona.
This year, you swore in 2 Republican members during a pro forma session. So why not swear in Adelita Grijalva, who was elected 2 weeks ago during a pro forma session? Does it have to do with her 218th signature on the discharge petition, the Epstein discharge?
No, it has nothing to do with that at all. We will swear her in when everybody gets back. It's a ceremonial duty. Look, we'll schedule it, I guess, as soon as she wants. It has nothing to do with it.
As soon as she wants. Keep that in mind. One sec. During a pro forma session back in April, Johnson did swear in 2 Republican representatives. They were from Florida the day after their special elections. Now, Democrats believe the delay is because Grijalva would be the final signature needed on a discharge petition to force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. I want to bring in now Democratic Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Kentucky. And I told the viewers to pay attention to when the speaker said whenever she wants, because she wants as soon as possible, right. And she's been clear about that. But then his office walked it back, and they said, well, when we're back in session is what he meant, and that's when we'll do it. You guys are not in session, and the speaker has continued to kind of punt the ball on when you're coming back. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious what's going on. I mean, when they say this is not why we're doing it, that's exactly why they're doing it.
Because of Epstein.
Yeah, she's the 218th signature on the Epstein petition, which forces Congress to have to take a vote on releasing the Epstein files. We should release the Epstein files. They know that puts their members in a really tough spot. I mean, look, Adelita Grijalva has been in Washington. She has been asking to be sworn in, and they should do it. You pointed out that they swore in 2 Republican members already this year in the same manner that they could immediately. They could swear in Adelita Grijalva right now. And of course, aside from the fact it's Epstein and all that sort of stuff, let's focus on what's really happening here. The people of Arizona don't have a member of Congress. And whether we're in Washington voting or not, that's everything from getting your passports to getting your veterans claims worked on in the district. She's been elected. No one disputes the fact she's been elected. Go ahead and swear her in. I
think that's actually a really important point, especially as the government shutdown is impacting everyone who has even a loose tie to the federal government in some way. I think that's actually the more important backdrop here, in addition to the Epstein 218th signature. But you have spent some time in district, despite having wanted to be here. What are you hearing from your constituents about the shutdown, about the way that they're looking at Washington right now?
Yeah, I mean, people are worried. People are anxious. People are nervous. You know, I called one of our air traffic controllers just to check in and say, how are things going? How do you feel? He said, man, we've been nervous about this for 2 weeks before the shutdown. What's going to happen? And so I think people are understandably, they're going, what is happening right now? And they're also looking at how this is going to impact them personally, right? You know, we talk about this in big fancy terms up here in Washington, but people are saying, what's going to happen to my health care? I talked to a mom who has an adult child on the Affordable Care Act. They're worried that he's not going to be able to afford his health care. Talked to a small business owner in Southwest Jefferson County saying, okay, this is how I have health care through the Affordable Care Act. And we know that those premiums, they're going to double in many cases. I mean, it's a big strain on families, and they're saying, why aren't Republicans taking care of this?
So is that what they're saying, or are they saying, can you please just provide the votes that we can get back to having the things that we need? Do they want you to keep holding the line?
Yeah, they're really concerned about health care. Look at Kentucky. I mean, we are acutely impacted by this. Premiums in Louisville, Kentucky right now, if you're a family of 4 and you're on the Affordable Care Act, they're going to increase by as much as $186 per month. It's $2,232 a year. That is a ton of cash for families. And they're saying they passed the tax cuts for billionaires. I mean, you know, when we're here in Washington, they brought us back the week of July 4th to make sure that those tax cuts that didn't expire until December 31st were passed. But now, all of a sudden, when it comes to people's health care, when it comes to people being able to afford health insurance, to be able to take their kids to the doctor, they're saying, no, we've got plenty of time. There is no time.
That is actually an excellent point that I hadn't thought of until you said it right now.
There isn't time. The open enrollment notices are going out now. When you get that letter in the mail that says your health insurance is going to go up double by $2,000 a month, when Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying, cut this out, my son's health insurance is going to double, that is the kind of news that is just a kick in the gut to a family, whether you're in Kentucky, whether you're in a red state, whether you're in a blue state. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This impacts people's health, and they are nervous about it.
So given the landscape that you just laid out, how much longer do you think that this stretches on? When you look over at the Senate, and I say look over at the Senate because it is a Senate story right now, how much longer do you think this goes?
Look, I mean, Republicans need to come to the table. And we're saying, Democrats, we want to keep the government open. We want to make sure people can afford their health care. You even saw Donald Trump yesterday start to suggest that maybe they should be negotiating on health care. And, of course, Politico is reporting this, and I think it's true. It reveals the fractures that are happening right now in Washington. But they're in a bind. They have shut down the government, because they control the Senate, they control the House, they control the White House. They have refused so far to reduce the cost of people's health insurance while all other costs are going up. And I think people are tired of it.
And as much as they have control of all those things, the Senate reality is you do need some Democrats to cross over to get them to that 60-vote threshold. They certainly don't have enough Democrats to do that now. And we'll wait and see if this Senate vote sometime after 11 a.m. this morning actually changes any of the contours here. My reporting is that things are probably going to just stay the same. For now, we'll leave it there. Democratic Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Kentucky, thank you for coming on. I'm going to ask you to stay for just one more minute, though, because you know that we always ask our viewers, why are you awake? We have a few write-ins. Joe writes, not up early, haven't got to bed yet, working on my cross stitch while the house is peaceful and quiet. What's your, house is peaceful and quiet activity that you do?
My house isn't peaceful or quiet. It is a mad dash in the morning to get up before the kids are up, get ready yourself, and be like, are we going to make it to the bus on time this morning?
That's amazing. I'm glad you made the bus here. That was good.